Hey, this is Shane. Point to the word. This is testimony number 5. I might be able to eventually combine all these. I just gotta figure out how to do it, so it's just easier to watch one video. So yeah, last time we talked, we were talking about how that tornado had hit, and so I prayed to God for the longest time. I hadn't, so that was new. So yeah, days went past. I didn't give God any, thanksgiving or, praise or anything. I wasn't grateful to God. I wasn't thankful. And so, I just went on with my life. So eventually, my wife and I found out that my wife was pregnant. And so we, uh, it was very early on. So we went to the doctor and, they had told us that we were probably gonna have a miscarriage, like it's called a chemical pregnancy, I guess. And so I had misunderstood because my wife and I talked about this yesterday, just so I would get the story straight. I didn't want to leave out any details because I couldn't, it was a long time ago. And so I apparently misunderstood that like she had already had a miscarriage, but in my mind I thought that there was still hope. And so I remember going to work, and it was a really slow day at work, so I was like sweeping up a lot. And so I had a broom, and I'm just sweeping up and like praying to God, like, please, let the baby live, and what I mean, like, I'm just like really, wanting to have a baby, what I mean, and so I really wanted this baby to live, and I find out that and we have a miscarriage. And it's very early on, so like a baby is a baby. So I don't want to say it's different, but I mean, like we weren't like 35 weeks along or something like that, and then had a miscarriage. It was very very early on. Like we didn't have any kind of you know you know scans to see the heartbeat or anything. So it was very early on. So anyway, I remember being at work and just being so upset, like because I found out that my wife had a miscarriage, and I prayed. You know what I mean? And so, like, in my mind, I'm like, well, I prayed, you're not real, or, you know what I mean? Like, I had all these doubts. I was so upset with God now. And so, and now come to find out it was just a misunderstanding on my part. So that's like, I always wondered that, like, and so, yeah, now come to find out, years later, like, this happened, like, um, yeah, like, probably 11, like, 10 years ago. And so I'm just finding out now that I misunderstood the whole thing. And there was no hope. Like the miscarriage already happened. So anyway, but back then didn't know that. So um, I'm angry with God. I'm not giving him another chance. You know what I mean? Like silly. And so things probably got worse. My wife and I are just getting a little worse. Like what do you expect? Like I'm a bad influence on her, and so um, I'm trying to put my world, make that fit into hers, and that's not going to happen. You can't mix that, and so you're going to have, resistance. So, yeah, my wife and I we're not doing good. We're just, we're engaged now, and we go to events and like people won't want to be by us, so we just be like fighting like cats and dogs, and like seriously, like it's crazy. Like we just fight over anything, and I was the total instigator, and yeah, so I'm still, what I mean, like I'm being secretive. I'm doing everything behind my back, or behind my wife's back rather. I'm still, drinking, watching porn behind her back, and all that entails with that. I don't want to explain any further, but I'm sure you know what I mean. But yeah, so I'm hiding all this behind her back, and so yeah, like, and our marriage day is getting closer and closer and closer, and so you know what I mean. Like people are telling like my wife, like one person was telling her not to, marry me, and honestly, like that was good advice back then. Like, she shouldn't have, like honestly, and so I'm getting worse. Um, like the months are approaching, our marriage, like our wedding rather, in 2013. So like, yeah, months are approaching, I'm just getting worse. A month before, I'm going to blame myself on this. Like, I take full responsibility. So I had like smoked like fake weed, like back then. I don't know if they still do. Like now you just, get real weed in most states. But, yeah, like I had like fake weed, like I smoked, because someone had it, and we were in a car, and I was like smoking fake weed, and then like drinking on top of that. I don't know if like the combination of that, like I've never done that before, so I don't know if the combination of that was just like something crazy. But yeah, I blew up, and I was trying to hide it, and then my wife found out that I was doing it because I wanted to do it more than once. I wanted to make like a trip in the car more than once. So she found out, and now I'm like, oh, I must have thought I'm caught, like crap. My facades, I've been found out. So yeah, I completely freaked out. In my mind, I'm like, break up with her, break up with her. Like I had this, I don't want to call it mantra, but like I don't know, like I just had this impulse to break up with her, and I don't know. I honestly don't know, like to this day why, but I had this impulse to break up with her, and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And we got a huge fight. We were at her family members, and actually like run out of the house, and her family members like had to like shine a spotlight on us, or on me, and I'm like running. There's like a highway near there, like around like a hill, and there's like a highway like underneath. And dude, like I wanted to kill myself. Like I have no idea. Like I said, I'm taking full responsibility for all that happened. But the way I felt, like I wanted to kill myself. It was so weird. Like I wanted to just throw myself off like on the highway. It was crazy. And so I hate revisiting this story because like it's embarrassing, and like I have so many regrets now. Like seriously, so many regrets. But yeah, so we went back to her family's house, spent the night. My wife was up like all night crying, and rightfully so. Like, dude, everything I've done to her, I have so many regrets. Yeah, she's up crying like all night, and like we're, what I mean? Like I'm sound asleep, and then she's crying, and I had like this feeling before I passed out that, okay, stick with this. Like tomorrow morning, you need to like stick to your guns. You know what I mean? Like you're feeling this way now, you're bold or whatever, but you need to stick to your guns tomorrow. So the next day came, and I remembered that feeling, like stick to your guns. But yeah, my wife and I got back together like the same day. So, what I mean? There's like that half day of separation where, what I mean? Like we kind of broke up, but I don't know. It was weird. It was so crazy. Yeah, so, and that was like literally 1 month before our wedding. Like 1 month before. It was insane. So, all right, but I'll end it there. It'll be testimony number 6 next time. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.